Name another podcast like this. Who gon' bring it to the table? Boss talk. Who your girlfriend favorite? Boss talk. We gon' do it how you want it. Boss talk. Yeah, everybody on it. Boss talk. It's a unique hustle.
Check it. It's a unique house. It's your boy ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
Nothing, Nina Modell, all gone. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us on all social media platforms. What I mean, all. I mean our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, you name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us on the street all the time and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we support the brand? How can we be a part of Boss Talk? This is how you can do so. Under each and every video, including this one right here, in the description section below, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, and that's how you can see all the exclusive content that we have that y'all been asking us, where is this interview? Where's that interview? You have to be a member to see it. So do so now, and thank you, and we love you.
Man, check it, man. We got a guy here today, y'all. He don't need no introduction. We are down here in Kansas City, Missouri. It's going down. They showed me so much love down here, man. I done learned, man, a lot of things, bro. One thing I do know, rest assured, man, they popping with the food down here, man. They got it over here. They got that, man. You be like crack on it over here, man. But my guy's here today, y'all. You're in for a treat, man. If you want to learn about producing, if you want to understand how to make crazy hooks that last forever, if you want to learn about just knowing how to go out and strive and hit avenues where you might be with somebody in LA, in Oakland, in wherever, in Baton Rouge, you might see him dealing with anybody when it comes to this music, man. My boy, JPZ's in the building, right?
Hey. Yes, sir.
Did I say it right? Did I bring you in?
JPZ. Yep, JPZ. Spelled JPZ.
JPZ.
Yes, sir.
Ain't easy being JPZ.
It ain't, but it sure is fun.
JPZ, man, to be honest with you, man, there's a lot of people, man, that love producing and love the sound of music. We're going to ask you a lot about that, man. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Yep. JPZ, I'm going to be your name. I just spelled it out JPZ because at the end of the day, that's what it don't say Z on the end of it.
Right.
Why you didn't do the couple of Z's or something on that thing? Make that Z last like that.
You know, we had a homie where I'm from. His name was, I looked up to him. He rapped. His name was Lil Brian Zachary.
Okay.
And he went by LBZ.
Okay.
And he was dope. I still love him to this day. Big influence on me.
And that's why you did yours like that.
I took my parents' name. My name's John Patrick Winkler. So,
okay.
But my parents called me JP my entire life.
Okay.
So I basically had a rap name my entire life.
That's all.
Was JP, and everybody called me Peasy. Or
oh, Pizzo. So you put that J? Okay.
Yeah, Peasy or Pizzo.
JPZ, not JPZ, but JPZ.
So I already was JPZ, but LBZ, he spelled his name LBZ. Okay. So I got it from him, and then also, you know, like the RZA and the Jizza.
Yeah.
They had like all the 5%er names, and they were spelling it like that too. So that was a big influence on me too.
Let's get it, Miss Jamaica.
So you're born and raised here in Kansas City, Missouri?
Facts. Yeah.
What part?
Right here. I was born at this hospital. It's literally right up the street.
Wow.
St. Luke's Hospital.
St. Luke's.
Yep. I grew up in a neighborhood called the 50s. Like you interviewed a lot of the guys from the 50s today. But, you know, Kansas City was a redlining city.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you got Troost Avenue that was kind of the dividing line between the black neighborhood and the white neighborhood.
Really?
So all those guys is on this side of the 50s. I'm on the opposite side
of the 50s.
Right on the other side of the street, you know, and I'm a little younger than all of them, too.
Of course.
So I grew up looking up to all those guys, and so I'm...
That's hard, man. I love the fact
59th Street.
59th Street.
Yep.
So how is it like, because you were raised on the white side, right? So how is it like, I'm asking you now with racism, did you see, because other people, because I'm sure you didn't have anything to do with that.
Right.
But did you see?
Young. How old are you?
Did you see it?
I'm 40, actually.
Oh, you look good, boy.
I'm 40.
Say, man, life
Yeah,
been good to you. Ain't no
thought he
stress.
was like 30.
Nigga, you ain't had no stress or nothing.
I don't know about that,
No,
man. I drink a
you
lot of
ain't
water,
no
man. I stay prayed up, man.
Boy, you look good, man.
Yeah, I
Go
drink
ahead,
a lot of
buddy.
water, man.
So did you see the racism from the white side to the black side growing up?
No doubt. Not so much on a personal level, but it's systemic.
Right.
It's redlining. It's literally redlining.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So you see it. I'm going to school with everybody. You see your friends, but there's this unwritten rule, this dividing line that's just there. And since a kid, you know, like, you want to know, like, why did this happen? And what a lot of people don't know about Kansas City is that the Civil War started right here.
Wow, I didn't know that.
The Civil War started right here in between Missouri being a slave state and Kansas wanting to come in as a free state. So the Civil War literally kicked off right here. And so it's just like there's still auctioning blocks where this shit happened right here.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, right here. Right. If you go up here to in Westport, which is like the old Kansas City used to be called Westport, Westport Landing before they called it Kansas City.
Wow.
And there's
You
trading
can find
posts.
that right there.
Yeah, if you go like literally right up the street.
You can see it.
Yeah. Oh, not anymore.
I was
but
about to
yeah.
say, dang.
No, but it's like
He
it's
knows
known that
that.
there used
It's
to
known
be,
that's
you know,
where that used to
yeah,
be.
human trafficking.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
It
crazy.
was going on right there. And then also like you have like Quindaro, which is like a legendary Aboriginal indigenous settlement where a lot of the runaway slaves would go. They cross the river and they go to Quindaro in Kansas City, Kansas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I never knew that.
It's steeped in the culture down here.
Wow.
But I grew up in the time, you know, in the 90s, it's hip hop.
Yeah, it's hip hop.
I wanted to rap.
And people don't realize how big hip hop was in building and bridging cultures. They don't understand that. It was big.
Yeah.
for
It
that.
was big, but then I would think it was more of a black culture thing. But then on the white side, you know, the kids wanted to do it, but the parents were they like, "Why you want to do that? That's black music, or that's you know." Did you experience anything like that?
Not in my family, because my dad is very similar to me.
Okay.
So my first piece of music was Stevie Wonder, Temptations, James Brown, Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh, you got
I'm
one of them
listening-
cool daddy. Listen to jazz.
My dad loves jazz.
listen
Rest
to
in peace
jazz.
to my dad. You know, my dad
Oh,
passed away
man,
a couple
rest in
years ago.
peace, man.
Wow.
You know, my dad took me to meet Booker T from Booker T and the MGs, and I was raised on Stax Records and Motown and James Brown. My dad would tell us the stories of
That's
when James
hard.
Brown, they used to try to segregate the concerts when James Brown would come to Kansas
Yeah, I see
City.
that on the
And they
show.
weren't going for it.
Yeah,
They weren't
wow.
going for it. And there was nothing they could do to stop, you know,
Wow.
people from having a good time. You know, and I'd be listening to Dr. Dre or I'd be listening to whatever I was listening to, G-Funk. And my dad would come into the room, oh, this ain't nothing, but this is George Clinton. This is Boosie Collins. And you know, Boosie, you know, before Boosie.
He knew his stuff. He knew it.
Boosie was James Brown's bassist at
That's
first,
right.
you know?
That's
And
right.
So I had to learn the history. My dad
That's
loved
cool.
music, so.
So that's where you got the love of music from
Of
your
course,
dad.
yeah, definitely. My
Wow.
dad, yeah, my
Tell
dad.
me how your mom influenced your life.
My mom is like my everything. So my dad is, you know, my dad was. I'm Irish. I'm very, very damn near 100% Irish. So you know, my dad's very, you know, Missouri country boy, hard nosed. Never, you know, he doesn't tell people he loves them. You know,
Aw.
he's tough. You know, Irish Teamster Union, hard nosed man. And my mom is a very loving
The
woman.
opposites
I'm staying. I live in California. I'm staying at my mom's house right now. Took my mom out to dinner last night. So my mom enabled my creativity.
That's awesome.
She just loved me. She cared for me. And when I'm running around with all the knuckleheads, when my dad didn't understand, you know, me getting into trouble and getting into drugs and everything that goes along with hanging out with my friends. And he didn't understand that part, you know. But my mom, instead of getting mad at me and pushing me away, she wanted to know what it was about.
Right.
She was interested. She kept asking questions. She stayed in my life to keep me safe. Even though she didn't understand it, she's like, okay, what is it about this that you like? You know, because with Kansas City, a lot of, you know, our hip hop scene is kind of divided into the boom bap, backpack, hip hop, lyrical side. And then there's the street music, the mob music. It's very influenced by the Bay Area and the West Coast. And I love hip hop. I love boom bap. I love all that too. But I like Tech Nine, Fat Tone,
Yeah.
Rich the Factor.
Yeah.
you
But
know.
that's hometown.
It's part of the culture.
It's a part of the
Right.
culture here.
Yeah.
So when did you start like really knowing like I'm gonna be producing music? When did you start that?
Well, I wanted to make music my whole life. I don't really ever remember not wanting to, but I know
To make music or to rap?
make music.
Okay.
I wanted to make music, and originally, like I said, like my first piece, my dad used to play Stevie Wonder, and my sister loved the Temptations. So the first time we went to go buy music, my sister bought the Temptations and I bought Stevie Wonder because my dad was telling me that Stevie was blind and he was a kid. Stevie was 13. He was the first like child prodigy, and I was like, okay, well, a kid can do this. Like he was a savant with all. He was playing all the music. He was writing and composing, and he was blind, and he was a kid. And I remember hearing that Stevie was doing it, and I was like, "What? That means I can do it."
Right.
He was blind, and he was a kid. So that was really my first, my first intro into music. And then Kansas City is a jazz city, right? So Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
Right. So 18th and Vine, and we're a really big jazz city, and we got like a lot of my friends. They went to Paseo, which is a performing arts academy, which is right in our neighborhood, and you got to learn jazz. They had a book that they used to make us read in the library that was called Charlie Parker Played Bebop, and it's like written in a rhyme form. And I remember Charlie Parker played bebop. And Stevie Wonder were like, I knew I was gonna make music.
When you think about the stuff that you were able to do, I look at Tech Nine and the way I looked at the diversity of. I told him that earlier. I like the way he diversified not only his style but the people that were able. It was different color people. It wasn't just black. It wasn't,
right.
He's the person that when I look at his stuff, and he was able to make it to where he had his own lane, the
right.
way he raps,
right.
the way he's critiqued it as he matured. When you first met him, how was it, and how did you first link with Tech Nine?
Well, I've been meeting Tech Nine for a long time, looking up to Tech Nine for a long time. And around the time that I met him was he just did his deal with Travis and started Strange Music. And Travis was putting this big push behind Tech they had like wrapped vans. They had box trucks with the Angelic album cover on the side, and they were just really marketing it, And we already knew about Tech through, like when he was with Don Juan and Icy Rock and Walt, he was already a legend, but now it was over the top. You could tell. It was about to be big.
Wow, and Travis, he already had deep pockets. I heard he had the money.
Yeah, Travis was a successful businessman, entrepreneur already, and so he got behind Tech. But nobody really knew that story out the gate. We just seen Tech was about to be big.
Correct. I only heard it because Tech said, he met him and he made the deal with him on one of the podcasts he was doing. And the thing is, like, when you seen him and you seen that part of it, when did you first know that you was gonna work? Did they reach out to you?
No, heck no. I was a kid at the time, so I just kept trying, and I would run into Tech all the time. I'd give him demoed CDs, with my beats on it. I make beats, I rap too, and I run into him all the time. I just see him around Kansas City. I used to pay to open up for his artists, Chris Calico and Ritz and
Chris
Stevie
Calico.
Stone.
I'm supposed to get him too later today.
Yeah. So I would pay to open up and hope him and Travis would see me and just do whatever. And the funny thing is, like, a bunch of mutual friends, they were telling us, like, Popper, Walt, you guys got to do something together. It never really happened until when I met E40 first, and I moved to the Bay Area.
Oh, you moved?
Yeah.
That's how it be?
Yeah, I moved. And when I was already working with 40 and Be Legit, and I moved to the Bay Area. And the day that I left, that's when Travis O'Gwen started following me. So Travis,
shout out to Travis O'Gwen. I need to get him on this show too. I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
Do he be local all the time, or he be out of town a lot?
He be moving around, but they're based in Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay, so I got to get with Tech and see if I can get that guy.
You should. Yeah.
I'd love to have him on the show.
So Travis actually, he followed me first on Instagram, and then Travis just kind of interacted with my content over the years, and I was in California, and I was, just doing my thing. And the crazy thing about what happened was I made a post, just from being around Oakland. Shout out to Richie Rich, really learning to speak my mind, and really, like, the Bay Area's got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
They know how to talk.
Yeah.
Oakland in particular. East Oakland in particular, so I'm really just, at times in my life, I wasn't always good at asserting myself, and speaking my mind, and really, closed mouth don't get fed.
That's right.
And I made a post on Instagram. You can look at it. It's still up. And I was like, Tech, I'm like, I worked with E40, Be Legit, Young Dolph.
Put
Yo
it out there in
Gotti.
their face.
You know, I'm like, come on, man. You worked with all my friends. Everybody been telling us to do it. Let's make it happen.
You had to speak out, huh?
I made a post on Instagram. Travis reached out because Travis follows me on Instagram, and Travis is like, we need to talk. And then my boy, the Popper, I'm KC, the Popper, Kansas City legend, Mount Rushmore, Kansas City
That's
rap.
hard.
Yeah, his older brother, DJ Fresh, is Grandmaster Flash of Kansas City rap. You know, like, so Popper's been a big advocate for me. I've been been around him for a long time, and he originally was like, called me, Tech saw your post, man. He know who you are. He want to work with you. And I was kind of unsure because I was talking shit.
What you say? You was kind of letting him know.
I was like, I can take you back to that shit. I can take you back because, you know, some people have a criticism of Tech because Tech is brilliant.
Yeah.
People say Andre 3000. If Andre 3000, and I told Tech this, I've literally told him, if Andre 3000 is Andre 3000, Tech is Aaron 9000 because he's so far ahead of his, like, the harmonies and the way his cadence is, like, and then their business protocol. Tech is one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Okay.
You know, but
you know
a lot
that's subjective.
That's true, but this is my opinion.
But I get it. I'm just saying, when you say Andre, like, are you saying he's above Andre?
No. I'm saying he's so far.
Let's get that right, because, you know, I'm from the South now. We're in the Midwest.
I love Andre 3000.
But you know, when you say some shit like that, I gotta stop and say what's going on with this.
Now listen, I'm not saying I'm not. Look, and they, mind you, they've been on this. They were on Wayne's album together on the same song.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Then that's Wayne that decided to do that.
Yeah.
Right? I love them both equally. But I'm saying Tech was so far ahead of his time, it took a lot of people a while to catch up to what he was doing.
I get it.
A lot of people felt like Tech was dealing with a lot of esoteric symbolism in his music.
I seen that.
He loves metal. He loves all types of different music. You know what I mean? So a lot of people felt like Tech was worshiping the devil, and he has spiky red hair, and he was painting his face.
That's right.
And people didn't know how to take that.
That's right.
You know, especially from the neighborhood where he comes from. So, you know, I got out there, and I'm my expertise from Kansas City, which is ironic, is, you know, the music that Tech started out doing.
Okay.
With Black Wall.
Really?
And with
Don Juan.
Yeah, you know, I lean towards the mob music. I make street music, heavy bass, funk influenced, organic, straight down the middle rap music.
So that's what we fit get on this new Tech.
Yeah. So I said, I told Tech, I said, Tech, I can take you back to that shit. I worked with everybody. Everybody in Kansas City knows my shit go crazy. Like, who can produce you better than me?
Wow.
I got that. I said, I got Gates sauce in my blood.
Wow.
Now, do they take you to Gates yet?
No.
You got to make sure they take you to Gates.
Okay, yeah, we gonna go because our people been telling us we gonna go.
Yeah. So I said, I got that Gates sauce in my blood. I got Missouri River water. I'm from the soil. No, there ain't no producer that can produce. Maybe Don Juan. Don Juan or
just
Icy
said last
Rock.
night, shout out to Don
Juan or Icy Rock are probably the only ones we from the town.
And y'all do this.
Yeah. Yep. And so I made that post, but the funny thing was, you know, Travis reached out, Popper reached out off of that post. And then a couple weeks later, Black Walt called me. And Walt
it's serious then.
Yeah. So actually Walt hit me on Facebook and says, big business, hit me up. And, you know, like I'm in California. I've already had a lot of major placements, a lot of major looks. And so, you know, and I know Walt's a legend where we're from.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but at the same time, I'm very wary of the music business and whatever. And, you know, I was like, get Tech on the phone. Because everybody been talking all this shit. I said, if you're going to do it, get Tech on the phone right now. I said, because I don't want to do no middleman and beats, and I'm sending you the beats, and then you sift through the beats. And
yeah.
I said, no, I want to work with him. I want a relationship with
That's
Tech.
Real.
Because that's how the best music's going to be.
That's right.
Made.
You want the best. You want to bring the best out of it.
Yeah, we need to talk. We need to be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to have experiences together to make the best shit.
That's right. What do you say?
He called. He said, "Give me 5 minutes."
That's how he do it. That's how he do it.
He said, "Okay." He said, "Give me 5 minutes."
That's him.
He called me back in 5 minutes. Had Tech on a.
So Black Walt calls him, get him on the same thing you did to me.
Yeah.
Get him on the phone and y'all start chopping it up.
Yep. We all sat there and talked about mutual experiences and you know, low key, I was worried. I was like, I thought Tech and Travis might not fuck with me after this.
That post.
You know, I didn't say nothing disrespectful, but I'm like, come on, man, we've been supposed to have done this.
Yeah.
You know. And I was popping my shit. Nobody can do it better than me. I got
No,
gay
you did
sauce.
your thing. You got to feel good. If you don't do it, who
Right.
gonna do it?
That's right. But Tech was like, man, we been supposed to link Popper, everybody. His son Donnie was telling him to was advocating for me.
Yeah.
At the same time, Sully 4Q, the Popper, Walt, Don Juan, everybody in our circle was
Yeah,
like, man,
that's
you got to
hard.
make this happen. Even 40, he was like, 40 told me about
Everybody.
you. Yeah, E40, all the California guys already told me about you. So
Shout out to E40. He
Man,
follow
shout out to
Boss
40.
Talk, man. He love Boss Talk.
Yeah,
That's
shout
my
out to
guy.
40,
I can't
man.
wait till he come. He told me he coming.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
We just got to make it happen when it's time.
Yep.
You know, as far as when he come to Dallas or if I'm in the Bay. I hadn't been to the Bay, which is very, 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 I ain't going to say it's distasteful. The fact that I should have been to took Boss Talk up to Oakland, man.
Facts.
And we going. So
Facts.
at the end of the day, when I get up there, I got to link with somebody that can get me. I need to link with somebody that's going to let him know when I'm there so he will be in
oh,
town.
we going to make it happen.
It's you.
Yeah, we gonna
It's
make it happen.
you.
Yeah, I go back on Sunday, so we gonna make
Already
that
let him
happen.
know. So whenever
Yeah.
it's time, I'm
Yeah.
pulling up. We gonna
Yeah.
get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So so once you get in Tech's face and in the studio, give me that feel for what happened the first time y'all link up.
You know, it was crazy. It didn't just happen like
No,
overnight.
like that. No, it don't happen like that. 'Cause
It-
schedules.
Yeah, it didn't happen like that. So, but again, Black Walt,
Determined.
Probably like 2 weeks later, he said, "You know, Tech got a show up there in Berkeley. You want to go and meet him?" I said, "What? Do I want to go? What?" I said,
get it.
"Yeah, let's go." So, like 2 weeks later, I was like, I don't want to just go to the show. I want to go and show him what I could do.
That's real.
So I pulled up on him, and this is all documented. That's one thing I do is I keep a camera with me and I
As you
document my
should.
journey. So Tech met me in at his hotel room. I met Tech at his hotel room before the show, and I had my Bluetooth speaker. I had my show disc because I didn't want, like one thing people know about me, I don't just make beats, I rap.
Already.
Yeah, I want to talk my shit.
Yeah.
So I came in there and they're all my beats. So you hearing my slaps and you hearing my production and my songwriting and my storytelling. I went in there and I rapped for him and I rapped my ass off. I had him laughing.
Went in.
I had him woo, and this is Tech 9, So, we were locked in ever since then because he heard that. And I have a song called Story where, I'm big on storytelling.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So I have a song called Story, and I'm big on the culture of where I'm from.
That's hard, man.
That's
hard. And basically, as you tell these stories, he basically knows the style and the stories you
He
tell.
knows the people.
It's reflective of the people he knows.
Yes.
So that only makes sense.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you and him link, and then after that, what's the first music you guys do together?
So he's
And what year was this?
this was like 2 years ago.
Okay, so
right when Walt
so
first
this
came
is what's
home.
building up to what we're doing now.
Yep, right.
Okay.
Right when Walt first came home, and Walt had this idea about he wanted to take Tech back to where he started. And the crazy thing is, I had said that in a post. Like I said, I made that post on Instagram where I was talking to them. And the crazy thing was, Walt never seen that. Walt didn't know that I did that until
He
recently.
never seen the post.
He never saw the post.
That's how
Walt
God works,
had
man.
no idea.
That's how God works, man.
He had no idea until recently when we released the first video. That's I put that post up and I was like, everybody that got on this post and said I was crazy. Now what?
Wow.
And Walt called me and said, I didn't know you did that. When did you do that? I said it was literally weeks before we put all this
so
together.
he didn't even know.
Yep. And originally it wasn't gonna be. Walt wanted to take him back. Walt's really passionate about Kansas City and about our culture and about hip hop and music in general. And so he just wanted to get Tech really back to the roots, because that's everybody, like, that's what really made Tech blow up in Kansas City as like the Road Dogg Villain Midwest Side era. Like they had Mitch Bade and Cloudy Eyed and Let's Get Fucked Up. This is where like people knew Tech is about to be big.
Wow.
Like
man.
that people knew in the neighborhood and that Tech could rap, Tech could dance, he's talented. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, QD3, he's out in LA with Pac. But when he came back and he started doing those records, that's when everybody was like, man, like those are Kansas City classics.
Wow.
I
want you to, and basically, I want you to tell, because you jumped up and did something. You jumped. You took a chance. You went
Yeah.
up to Oakland. Like,
Yeah.
how did you connect with E40? Being that you just left from down here, and how did it happen?
So really, it's a crazy story. I've been rapping, making music my whole life, and I had got to the point where, you know, I kind of had a spiritual awakening.
Okay.
When,
which is something that's dope.
Yeah. So I had, you know, one of my best friends, like my brother, he had went to prison, and I looked out for his son while he was away, and his son is like my son, and he ended up getting killed. And I started questioning music in general, whether I should continue making music. And so I really had stopped, and I was spending a lot of time. I was at the masjid. I was at the Islamic Center, you know.
Okay.
And, you know, that was my place of solace. And I was, you know, a lot of people are in the Islamic community are of the opinion that music is haram. It's not even permitted. They say it's spells and jinn and a lot of different things involved, which I do believe is partially true.
Okay.
So I had stopped, but I have some little homies and my little cousins from the neighborhood were like, bro, you can't stop. You can't stop. Like, you got to get on Instagram. You got to get on Instagram. I didn't even know how to work Instagram. You know, I was, you know, put your music on Instagram. I got on Instagram. I was taking pictures of rims in my food. And they're like, nah. You got to turn the camera around and talk to the camera.
Yeah,
they don't want to see your rims. Like, you know, like they're not worried about that. So the crazy part was, you know, I got my two little homies from the neighborhood. They're like, you gotta use hashtags, turn the camera around, and Sully4Q. And I got a big shout out to the Popper and Sully4Q because they pushed me too. Popper is one of the biggest rappers in Kansas City.
Yeah.
He was working on a project with Rich the Factor.
Shout out to Rich the Factor.
He had came and got some beats from me, and I was going to Atlanta at the time, and I was making a lot of like trap, southern sounding stuff because when I was going down there, I was submitting music, going to the open mic that B Rich and B Rich was like B.O.B., Kevin Gates, Dope
Yeah, it's dope dude. Yeah.
And DJ Holiday and all them. I was going down there, and you know, they didn't understand my Bay Area vibe. You know, they're like, it's dated, man. It's dated. Like, we on this trap, we on this future. This is Atlanta, and I'm going down there, heavy bass, West Coast sound, and so I had gotten, you know, I kind of got a little disillusioned because I'm like, I know I'm dope. But they just weren't. It wasn't the right market.
It wasn't the right market
sound,
for your sound.
You know, and they never said I wasn't dope. They just didn't understand it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I had got real heavy on the trap music, whatever. But Popper had came over to get the beats, and he was like, "Man, play me some of that Mob, man. Play me some of that Jay Peasy, that Chop Shop era." I had an album called Chop Shop. It just was real heavy Bay Area sounding Mob and really heavy. Like, I'm also really heavily influenced by Pimp C.
Man, don't say that.
Yeah, Pimp C is
the worst
really.
thing you can do. You can't say that on Boss Talk. Man.
I can't say that.
Hell no, man. That's the best. I'm gonna tell you. know
Come
what
on,
you
man.
just said,
Uncle
man.
Chad, man.
You know Bun B. You see
Man.
who at the top of my
Come
damn
on, man.
Instagram when
Come
you look
on,
at
man.
it.
I am country
I'm a
rap
big
tunes.
Pimp C fan more
Come
than
on.
anything else,
Come
bro.
on, man. Me
you
too.
the first one out of Kansas City,
Me
Missouri,
too.
that sat here in this seat and
Me
said
too.
Pimp C.
Me too.
You is
Uncle
special,
Chad,
man. You
Yeah.
very special.
Yeah, long
Don't
live
get it
Uncle
twisted.
Chad. Yeah. So I'm heavily influenced. Anybody that knows me knows I'm candy painted Cadillacs. Only difference, we don't do the 30s. We do Dayton's. We
You
do
love
100
it.
spokes and bogs on candy paint. Yeah, we do 100 spokes. My
So-
first car was an Eldorado.
Already,
Yeah,
so you were
84.
L-Dog Ray.
84, L-Dog. Yeah.
Man, so
Yeah.
you basically, what made you like Pimp C?
I'm a country boy. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri.
So you are,
We the first one that came out talking about country rap tunes.
and you was like, that's it
Yeah.
right there.
And I listened to funk, soul, blues, gospel, country.
That fits.
Yeah.
And he produced his music.
Yeah, and he sang and he was
Sang
playing
and
organ.
then-
He was a real musician. And people don't, man, Pimp is the culture of Southern rap to me, in my
Me too.
personal opinion. Who brought him and DJ Screw made the double cup,
That's right.
the gold teeth, the candy paint, the swingers. They popularized that whole sound.
That's it.
Like in the organs and Pimp C. So I'm heavily.
Man, thank you so
I'm
much.
heavily UGK
Now we can
for
start.
life.
Man, stop
UGK
playing. Bun B,
for
shout
life.
out. That's my
Yeah,
guy,
Bun
man.
B, Big Crit, like
Man, Big Crit.
Come on, man.
Now, Big Crit over there in Mississippi
Bow,
ain't came
man.
on Boss Talk yet, man.
Yeah.
Man, so what do you so you didn't tell me how you and E40 met.
So here's what I was saying, right? So I was going to Atlanta. I started, and I always made trappy sounding beats, but my expertise was I always describe my style as Kansas City style is like where Texas and the Bay meet.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we kind of slow and syrupy and country a little bit, and the Bay's is hyphy, mob, you know, a little bit more up tempo.
Okay.
You know, so Kansas City sound is to me like a blend of
both.
Of both. And also we got our own thing too. We're jazzy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got that Charlie Parker in us. But so Popper came over, got some beats for him and Rich the Factor's album, but he didn't want the Atlanta sound that I was making. He said, "That's not you. I want that mob. Give me that mob. Give me that file from a couple years ago when you were making Chop Shop."
That's it.
And because Chop Shop, I fuck with the cars.
Yeah.
All my homies fuck with cars. And so I gave him a couple beats for him and Rich the Factor. He went on Facebook and they were freestyling and it was going crazy for Kansas City.
Yeah.
I said, "What? They're going crazy off my old mob Bay Area sound and shit." So I was like, and Sully and my little homies have been telling me, get on Instagram. I said, let me try this. I made these beats. I made these beats a couple years ago. I made a fresh mob banger. I used the vocoder like Zapp and Roger. And And I just made a real mobbing ass beat on a Friday night. And Sully, shout out Sully 4Q. If you don't know Sully 4Q, this man is one of the most powerful human beings that I know.
Yeah.
And he's going to encourage you and he's going to push you and drive you to be the best version of yourself.
Wow.
And Sully, I was talking about, I'm going to start posting on Instagram one day, maybe like, a couple months when I get my mind right. So why don't you start doing it now?
That was Sully told you?
Yeah, why don't you start doing it now?
Sully, shout out, boy.
Why don't you start doing it now? What are you waiting for? Like, start doing it now. So I did. It was a Friday night. I posted it. I was like, my little homie said use hashtags. So I was like, okay, hashtag E40, hashtag Tech9, hashtag The Popper, hashtag Rich the Factor, hashtag Mac Dre. And it was a Monday. And I was working right up here at the hospital, at St. Luke's Hospital, literally right up the hill where I was born. I was working at the hospital where I was born, maintenance. I came in early. It was like 4 a.m. I looked at my phone and said, E40 started following you.
You like, damn.
I didn't even know how Instagram worked. I thought it was a bot. I asked my coworker, I said, is this the real? He got a lot of followers. He said, he got a blue check mark. I didn't even know what a blue check mark was. I didn't even follow E40 yet. I didn't. I had to follow him back. I said, oh shit, and if you know anything about Kansas City, we fuck with Bay Area music heavy. Kansas City's very heavily influenced by the Bay Area sound. So E40 is huge here. So I screenshotted it. I put it on Facebook. E40 started following me. Everybody's like, what? Oh, because everybody knows me, knows my sound. Oh, JPC got 1,000 of beats for E40. So, and again, like Sully 4Q, man. Shout out Sully 4Q.
That's who pushed it.
Sully 4Q, like 2 days later, like it's going Kansas City crazy. Everybody's like, oh, this about to be crazy, E40. So overnight, my traction, my momentum started going because E40 started following me. But I didn't know what to do next. I was like, what is he going to DM me? I don't know. Is he send me his number or what? Sully called me and said, bro, you tripping, bro. E40 is following you. You got 1,000 mob beats, bro. Now, Sully's very methodical. He thinks everything through. He's a genius. And he's very organized. He says, set yourself a goal. I know what you got in your hard drive. I don't care what you do. Post 1 a day, post 3 a day, whatever. But just keep doing what you're doing until it works. And so I started tagging E40 in 3 beats a day because Instagram has the 3 squares.
Yeah.
So I was tagging him, Be Legit, Spice One, anybody I could think of, Richie Rich. I was tagging everybody from the Bay. And I just kept tagging them. 40 started interacting. Oh, I like this. Put this one up for me. Put this one up for me. Be Legit started following me. Spice One started following me. Tretch from Naughty by Nature. And this is back when hashtags were still working
that's
chronologically.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I had E40's hashtag blown up. It's just me every day. And then I'm in there smiling big. I'm in the, because I used to look like this on the, and everybody's like, come on, bro. Like, come on. You trying to look tough on the. So I started doing a big cheesy smile just despite, everybody that was like, man, come on, man. You smiled on there. So I'd be like, starting all my posts off
That's
like
hard,
that.
Man.
And, I was tagging them in 3 beats a day, probably for some months, and finally he reached out. He DM'd me, sent me his number. We started talking. He sent me his email address, and then I was just consistent. Suli was pushing me.
That's
staying on
Suli,
me. Yeah, staying on me, being a good brother, man, staying on me, because I have a tendency, I get down. I might not have heard from him in a couple weeks. Damn, 40 didn't like nothing, man. I don't even know. He didn't respond to these emails. Suli's like, keep going, pushing me.
Wow.
So, and then, the crazy story was, this was I told you earlier, like this, my brother's son that I raised like my son, his birthday is actually on the anniversary of hip hop.
Wow.
And he had got killed, and I was questioning even doing music.
Yeah, wow.
Because he looked up to us and he was following the shit we were doing.
Yeah.
And going, I felt like we were leading people astray.
Wow.
And my bro called me, and this is in the midst of all this E40 shit. He said, today is, I can't remember what it was. It was the 40-something anniversary of hip-hop, and Google had 2 turntables on there, and you could mix on the Google homepage. And it's also his son's birthday. So he said, today is Cordell's birthday. It's also the anniversary of hip-hop. I'm like, how do we never realize these 2 things were on the same day? Right? So we're having this conversation. He said, I know you made a beat on that Google on the 2 turntables on that. I said, I made about 3 already on there. And then on my other phone rings. I said, hold on, this is 40. I said, this 40, don't say nothing. I'm gonna put you on speaker. I'm gonna put him on speaker. 40 calls me. He said, you know that thing you sent me? That straight out the dirt? I put NBA Youngboy and Yo Gotti on that thing. I was like, NBA Youngboy was the hottest thing in the world. And NBA Youngboy's still on his come up.
Yeah.
And I already love Yo Gotti. I love Memphis music too. So I already, I know they fucked around. So I sent them beats that were like 40 and Gotti this. So I was already manifesting that by, sending those beats labeled 40 and Gotti, whatever, So it happened on Cordell's birthday, and on the, I can't remember what it was. It was like maybe the 45th anniversary of hip hop.
And once y'all did that, man, how did y'all... Once he called and told you that, they got the record, things about to pop off.
Yeah.
How does the video come together?
Oh wow! So this was a crazy adventure, right? It was really a wild time because I didn't even know they were doing the video. I'm working at the time full time. I'm a maintenance man at the hospital full time, stationary engineer. So a lot of my homies would be on me because I go to bed early. I got to be up at 4 a.m. So. My phone was ringing. Suli and my boy Adrian, my phone's ringing. I'm like, I gotta be up. I'm not answering. I don't know what y'all are doing right now, but I'll call you in the morning. I get up. I got a bunch of texts, pictures, and 40 and Youngboy at the video shoot. They already shooting the video. I'm like, oh, what? They left me out the video. What? So I called 40, and 40's like, nah. We ain't about to leave you out the video. We gonna fly you out here, and Gotti's not here. Gotti got to come out here and do his part. So we gonna fly you out here. When Gotti comes and you gonna do your part, we had to do it because OMB Peasy had also had a song with NBA Youngboy.
Okay.
So he's like and he was signed to Sick With It Records at the time. So 40 was real instrumental in OMB Peasy's career because OMB Peasy was living in Sacramento when he blew up.
Wow. So
they were already doing that. He was like, nah, we gonna get you out here when Gotti does his part.
That's hard, man.
Yeah.
And so when you got out there that day, how did you feel about the video when you the shoot?
Well, it was crazy because when Gotti was like, it was like a week later, and that was when there was a shooting in LA or something, and the whole thing. Gotti couldn't, so it ended up being probably another couple weeks. And I had to go out there and do my part, and then Gotti had to come later because all the stuff that went down.
Wow!
But it was crazy. It was a crazy
tough
time.
All right, well,
it was dope. It was amazing.
But it was dope.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, man, like on this new Tech N9ne project that he's coming out with. What did he say the name was? I slipped. What was the name of that project?
5816 Forest.
Yeah. When you doing that with him. Say it again for the people.
5816 Forest. That's Tech N9ne's address where it all started, right? And so the premise of the album is when I think it was when Tech was 12 or 13, his mama, who was a devout Christian, married a Muslim and moved into the 50s. And Tech, that's like, if anybody that knows Tech Nine, that's like the balance. He's got this balance between, his Christian upbringing and then the discipline of Islam. And, so it was at 5816 Forest. That's the address where he met Black Walt and he first started rapping, and we're taking him back to where it all began.
How many projects did you do? All the projects on there, or just some of them?
I did all of them.
All of them. How many?
17 songs.
17 songs.
Yeah, 17 songs.
And they come out in June, is what Tech just told me, right?
Okay. I
You
don't know
that.
yet.
Didn't he say June, babe? Did he say come out June?
June 15th.
It was
Or
June.
13th.
I have to go
Yeah.
back.
You
and
guys
put
heard
in
it
there.
before I did.
Really? Yeah. He
I
was
know
just
they're
here.
gonna start rolling out the videos soon, but
Yeah,
I didn't know what the actual release date was yet.
Yeah, I think he said June, and I can't wait. And you say how did you feel to be able to do the whole project with him like that?
Man, it was crazy. It didn't, it just unfolded naturally. Like I said, I met him out there in Berkeley, and I used the same formula that I had from E40, which was work ethic. I'm gonna beat anybody that knows me. I'm just gonna beat your door down with beats. Tech, Travis, 40, Be Legit, Richie Rich, they all know I'm just gonna keep sending beats. You might not like it, you might not reply to it, but they're gonna keep coming. You're gonna find something you like.
Wow.
So I just kept sending them. And then probably I didn't hear nothing for the first 2 weeks. Then he sent me a screenshot, a picture where he had written down 4 of the beats that I sent. So then I got juiced again. I said, okay, I'm excited. Let me send some more, because he just picked 4. And then probably a couple days or a week later, another 4. Now we got 8. Then it became 12. And finally and then I'm hearing through the grapevine between Walt and Popper and Sully and everybody else, bro, he gonna do the whole album with you, bro. Y'all already whatever. And then he sent me a text, said, we at 12. Let's get another 4. We'll call it 16, 5816 Forest. It's gonna be a done deal. And the crazy part was, I was actually I was in Hollywood at the time. I was in LA at Drake's dad's house.
Oh.
I was sitting there.
What the hell are you doing at Drake's dad's house?
So, Dennis is a legendary blues musician.
Yeah.
He was and he's played all type of music. So he's a legendary musician. His cousin from Memphis, they're all their families from Memphis. So one of Dennis's cousins is from LA, loves West Coast shit, loves E40. And I used to do these beat challenges where I give the beat to whoever, rap to this beat. Whoever's got the tightest verse, you win the beat. And so Tone, shout out Tone Bling. Tone Bling introduced me to Dennis. And then Dennis started following me, and I got a lot of real bluesy, soulful shit. And so he fucked, because I'm very Pimp C influenced. I'm very blues influenced. I'm very gospel influenced. And Dennis played drums for Jerry Lee Lewis.
Damn.
Then, people don't know, Larry Graham from Sly and the Family Stone, the bassist is their family. And he's invented the slap bass. And he, Sly and the Family Stones from the Bay.
Damn.
So when Tech texted me to say we had 16 songs, I was sitting right there with Dennis Graham.
Wow.
Having dinner in
and
LA.
So in this one here, I don't even think he did. He didn't do no features, did he?
No features. We didn't do any features. We got 2 major hooks. I don't know if he told you about it.
He didn't say nothing about it.
Okay,
we
but we got two really, really big guest features for hooks.
Man.
But no features, and we're straight
I'm excited. I'm super excited, man. I can't wait for this one, man. And like I said, man, anytime, man, you see you guys come together and do something like this, and already you've been wanting this for a long time.
Right.
I just can't wait to see how everything turns out and develops, bro.
Right.
I know one thing about Tech Nine in this rap thing. He gonna bring it, bro. He gonna bring it like nobody brought it before.
Facts.
So that's the dope part about him, man. And you say who else did you work with? Larry June? No. Who?
Young Dolph, Boosie, Larry June.
Yeah, Larry June. You produced beats for all those guys.
Yeah. I just did Richie Rich's entire new project too. All but one song.
Yep, Shout out to Richie Rich, man.
Yep. East Oakland legend.
Yeah, you just working.
Yeah, man.
You just working, loving it, man.
Yeah, man.
So what's your top 3 artists of all time, dead or alive? Any genre.
Any genre.
Any genre?
Any genre.
Oh my God.
There
You
you
know,
go.
We just did that to Tech, and he had the hardest time coming up with them.
of all time. God. Bob Marley,
Okay, that's number one, of course.
Whatever.
Of course. Number two.
Pimp C.
Hey, that's my boy right there. God.
He appeasing to both of us.
Oh.
No, I mean, people that really just influenced me.
Right.
You know?
And number three.
Oh, number three.
Number three is the hardest because you got to cut somebody out.
Tupac.
Okay, cool.
Man, that's hard. That was a hard.
That's a hard
that was
three.
A hard
Tupac.
three. Hard
Tupac
three, man. I like
That's
that
a
hard.
hard-
That's a
yeah.
hard top
like
three, man.
Yeah.
So, man, we definitely appreciate you from coming on the show, man. Like, how can people get a hold of you if they're trying to reach out?
At JPZRTV on everything. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everything. I'm giving away free beats. I got free beats on my YouTube. I do challenges all the time.
Straight out the dirt,
StraightOutTheDirt.com. Yep.
man. How you did you have the hook going straight out?
I went from nothing to something.
Come on,
I had to make the shit work. I came up from nothing. I got it straight out the dirt.
Straight out the dirt, man. Yeah, man. Yes, sir, man.
Yes, sir.
Stop playing, man. Y'all don't even know, man. We in Kansas City, Missouri, man. It went down, man. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel, man. Hey, it's been another great segment of Boss Talk 101.
Where the bosses talk.
Where the bosses talk, man.
We out.